Greetings and welcome. Thanks for tuning in again to my YouTube channel. Many blessings to all of you. And today I'm going to be talking about the magnetic fluid and different ways to use it, how it can come about, how it can actually feel in your system, and all the different aspects of it that I like to specifically work with. And before I get to that, I will announce that I do individual coaching sessions where I coach you through the steps, provide a safe space to process everything, answer any questions you may have, and help you stay on track and stay accountable with your practice of initiation into Hermetics, as it can be hard to just keep going through all the practices rather than just reading them and thinking about them, as all of us know. And I also offer group transmission sessions where I transmit Akashic energy, and it usually hits people in waves and opens up energy centers, removes blocks, and puts people in a deeper state of mind, and can affect different people in different ways. But the results that people report have all been positive with that. And for anything and everything, you can always just email me at thegraveyardcowboy@gmail.com, or you can check out my website at quintsabom.com. And I also have 2 online classes at Perseus Arcane Academy. One's on steps 4, 5, and 6. The other one's on emotional release. And as I often forget to mention, I do have a book out called Preparation for Great Light, Recollections of a Christian Mystic. And it's available on Amazon. And it describes 6 months I spent living in a silent Benedictine monastery and the exact process of awakening I went through there, which I think would be of great help to all of you. And those of you who have read it, thank you. And anybody who reads it, please put a review on Amazon about it, as that helps me get traction. Okay, so the magnetic fluid. So what I basically found in clients is once they start charging enough with the elements, they get into that pore breathing of the 4 elements, which starts at step 3. And once the elements start to get charged up and start to swing into balance more by this pore breathing of all the elements, which is one of the most powerful and most important exercises in all of IIH, in my opinion. And so once that happens, a lot of times clients will report they feel a tingling, kind of a tingling in their arms and hands, perhaps in their legs and feet too. And that tingling is the first vestiges of the electromagnetic fluid coming through. And what eventually happens is the tingling turns into a deeper state where ultimately you feel an actual fluid, almost as if it feels like there's something physically changing in your body, and there's like fluid breaking up in your arms and legs and torso and your neck. There's just fluid starting to break up. Now, this could put somebody into a Kundalini awakening, but it doesn't necessarily have to. It's just that fluid feeling where you feel like blocks releasing, and almost like somebody is pouring water inside of your body that's got a kind of charge to the water, and it's everywhere in your body. And so at that point, you're fully charged up with the electromagnetic fluid. And it takes some work with pore breathing with the elements, and it also often takes working with the Akasha a lot and getting real strong in the Akasha, whether through prayer, whether it's the exercises Barden gives, whether it's vacancy of mind. All of these ways are great to contact the Akasha, and my previous video was obviously about the Akasha, and that will help getting the electromagnetic fluid charge. Now, the magnetic fluid in particular is negative, more associated with water. It's kind of going down from the head to the feet, whereas the electrical is moving up from the feet to the head. And the magnetic fluid can be downloaded. And I've discovered this in practicing levitation, that you can actually kind of download it. And what I mean by download it is kind of like if you're charged up with the Akasha and have a sufficient enough of an opening of the kind of crown chakra, the head area, blazing with kind of the light of the Akasha. It doesn't have to be blazing. The Akasha, I think, is more like a warm, soft cushion than blazing. But you can actually draw the magnetic fluid almost as if from, 100 feet above you, you're drawing it in. Stand up and do this. Stand up and draw down the magnetic fluid, and it's this silvery black. I mean, at least that's the way it hits me. It can hit other people in different colors, so I'm just talking about from my own experience here. But it hits me with this kind of silvery black essence, and it comes down from the head and moves down to the feet. And standing up, imagine that your feet are just stuck to the ground. In this magnetic fluid, this kind of density really is kind of moving down you and weighting you, making you heavier and heavier so that your feet are just stuck to the ground. Standing up, and draw that magnetic fluid down throughout your whole body. And it just takes imagination and visualizing it happening in order for it to happen. If you're at a level where it's kind of meant to happen, it's meant by divine providence to happen, and you can feel your feet stuck to the ground. Now, sometimes what can happen when you download the magnetic fluid like that is when it does hit the bottom of your feet, then the electrical fluid could shoot up from the feet back up to the head. It's almost like it goes down, and once it goes down far enough, that like hits the electrical fluid to flow back up your body, and then you have both. But it could not happen that way. In fact, it could happen where you're just drawing in the magnetic fluid and your feet just feel stuck to the ground, and you begin to feel heavier and heavier. And obviously, when the density of the magnetic fluid gets to a point, then you would be able to levitate, because it would offset gravity and the two negative charges would repel each other. But don't worry about trying to levitate. Just start working with the magnetic fluid, and you can always use that simple exercise that I call downloading the magnetic fluid, which is, I don't know why I call it that, but I just do. So, try that exercise, see if that helps. See if with working with the pore breathing of the elements gets to a point where there's that tingly sensation. That's when you're starting to feel the electromagnetic fluid coming. And eventually that will grow. You'll become more attenuated to it. It will become more normalized, and it will be able to be flowing in your body in all directions. So anyways, hope this video helped. And again, don't hesitate to reach out, thegraveyardcowboy@gmail.com or clintsabom.com. And thanks again for watching. And the links of everything I've mentioned will be below in the show notes. Take care, my friends.